I regret my life decisions. Not all of them, just the ones that have brought me to be here now on this stage in front of you. I'll explain why in a moment, but first, a little background. Last year, I had an interesting conversation with a couple of our grade 12 students. We were talking about leadership, and that conversation forms the outline for this talk. As a culture, as a society, we spend a lot of time talking about leadership and pushing people to be leaders, rightfully so. When you think of the world in economic, gender, racial inequality, pandemic, uncertainty, we have an ocean full of plastic, an atmosphere full of carbon dioxide. We need talented leaders that will take on these issues and work to address them. But I have a problem with that. And the problem is me. I don't want to be a leader. I don't like being the person at the front of an organization making big decisions that affect everyone around me. And I certainly don't enjoy being in the spotlight on a stage in front of all of you. That's why I'm regretting my life decisions. The reason? These 4 letters, I, N, T, and J. That's my Myers-Briggs personality. When I take one of their tests, I almost always get back the result that I'm I for introvert, N for intuitive, T for thinking, and J for judging. Granted, there are issues with Myers-Briggs. The idea that a few questions administered anonymously and online are sufficient to put every person into just 16 different personality types is problematic. But I can tell you that for me, that I for introvert is bang on. If you imagine a continuum from extrovert to introvert, I'm all the way over here, as close to 100% introvert as it's possible to be. This means that at school, I just want to do my job quietly and unnoticed. I don't need thanks or a lot of recognition, and then I want to go home. I have a gift for social awkwardness. I find large crowds overwhelming, and some of the loneliest experiences I've had were in big gatherings of people socializing. Now compare this, to our view of a leader. At least for me, I tend to think of leaders as people who are charismatic and inspiring. They get out and they meet and they greet and make connections. They build networks. They are bold. They are assertive. They are decisive. They are not introverted me. So what am I to do? I get and I acknowledge that there are times when I will have to step out of my comfort zone and I need to take on the leadership position. It would be irresponsible of me to just hide in the shadows. And in fact, I can step forward and people tell me even do a reasonable job. My friend Ali likes to tell me I can do hard things. But I have known too many people that spend their entire lives living in a way that doesn't fit their personality and who they are. I've seen too many students desperately trying to be someone they aren't, to meet the expectations of society or their teachers or their family. So I'd like to propose that perhaps we rethink leadership a little bit, in a way that will help people like me. I don't want to change any of our established understanding, but I think we can add something to the discussion. Because we spend a lot of time talking about leadership, I think we also need to spend some time thinking about followership. If you imagine a leader, no matter how talented they are, no matter how important their mission, their goal is, without a team of people working with them, a supporting cast, they're not going to be very effective. In fact, without that group of people working with them, they're not really a leader at all. It's more just a person going for a walk. But as one person in an organization, I can use my talents and my abilities to support the leaders around me. I can take their direction, their goals, and work to make them something tangible, practical, something that is kind of real. This might mean taking a moment to figure out what needs to be done, and then doing it before I'm asked. It might mean looking after logistics, the millions of little details that nobody ever notices, or at least nobody notices until they aren't done. It could be something as simple as wiping counters and making sure the coffee maker is ready to go in the morning. Even that, in a way, is a form of leadership. For our young friends, it might mean showing up for class on time and being in your seat ready to go so the teacher has one less person to worry about. For my grade 11 and 12 students, if you could have your calculator and computer and actually charge them so that you could use them, that'd be brilliant, thanks. Being self-sufficient, not in an arrogant way, but in the sense of being ready and prepared for the activities of the day. That is a form of leadership too. A few years ago at a different school, the science department was talking about leadership, and my friend Jill, who is the department head, the department leader, said that I'm a kingmaker. She had to explain, and she said that I don't want to be the front person that everyone sees as the leader, but I will be working right behind them and supporting their efforts. And as I do that, I will make that leader person look good. I will help them shine. I will make them look like a king or queen, of course. I like that. It suits my personality and it fits how I think and I like to work. I don't know if I'm really a kingmaker, but I love the idea that following well is just as important as having good leaders. Because our significant, difficult tasks need inspiring leadership and they need competent administrators, managers, and workers. So for you here who naturally take on leadership roles, I admire who you are and what you do. Please carry on. But for those of you like me, the quiet ones, I want you to know that your effort and your contribution is just as important, even if it doesn't get recognized in the same way. For all of us here, let's make sure when we think about leadership, we also consider followership. Because, of course, in the different roles that we all have, every one of us is a leader and a follower. So, who are you following? Now, go and make them look great.